guys, Andy here. So I've had the MacBook Air for about 10 days, roughly a week and a half. I've been obviously had in that time I had plenty of time to use it. I'm not a massive laptop user. I've got my desktop PC at home, I've got my phone if I'm out and about, but I like to have a laptop mainly just kind of if I do travel somewhere, I go somewhere for the evening or a week or whatever, it's, you know, you're not going to pack up your PC. And I don't actually like using my phone for things like email and reading form, just kind of weirdly, I guess, because you know, I do lots of phone reviews, but I don't like using phones in that way. For apps, they're great, but for sort of internet browsing, I don't really like it. So I'd rather have a laptop. Now, the real reason I bought this one, I'm not going to explain it all again. Go and watch my unboxing. The first kind of 7 minutes, I blither on about why I've bought a MacBook, being Android and all. And the main reason being, I want to learn to code in Swift for iOS apps. And you need to have a Mac. You don't need to. There are certain ways around it, but I decided that's the way I wanted to go. And it seemed the best option. I mean, I could have got a Mac Mini perhaps and then set it up all that way, but I like the idea of trying a MacBook Air. I do like light portable laptops, which is not what my Dell is. So I've got a big Dell laptop. Again, it's in the first video, huge, big, heavy thing. And it kind of puts you off just... So for example, this morning I was going off to meet somebody, I was buying something from out to travel for an hour or so. There was a chance I could be sat in a car park waiting, I was buying a monitor, sat in a car park waiting for them for, who knows, 20 minutes, half an hour. So I stuck my Air into my, I should show you this actually, I do like my sleeve. Stuck my Air into my sleeve and off I went, and it is just so light, and you know, you kind of sling on the back seat and off you go. I do like the portability of it. So anyway, I guess we'll get on to the actual me talking about the hardware of the MacBook Air. One of the things that people have said the best things about it sounds a little weird, the trackpad. And until I'd used it, I kind of like, how it's just a trackpad? How can it be different or better than others? And actually, I have to say, it is a very nice trackpad. So you see here on my website, I love, for example, you see that the two finger scrolling. I mean, that works sideways. If there was anything either side, you can. Oh, it's gone back. Oh, it's gone back again. And it's just so, it's kind of weird though. So I do have, you can plug in other mice. I've got this little kind of portable mouse. I've got a chip in, a dongle in the side there. Works fine, detected it straight away. I think it said it was a keyboard at first, which was a little bit weird, and that kind of worried me, but you kind of carry on through and it works. I'll not use the mouse for the moment, just kind of, I'm saying how good the trackpad is, I should use that really. But yeah, the trackpad is, I really like the gestures and things. So for example, I think I've got a few different windows open now. I'm going to use 3 fingers to swipe up on the trackpad, and I can very easily switch between the different ones. Now at first I had to actually, if you listen, I had to actually press the trackpad down, and again it's very, is it tactile is the word? You know, it's a good solid click when you press hard, but in the settings you can change it so just a little tap is enough. To actually sort of activate the left click. If you need to right click, you press with 2 fingers. So that's fine. I thought there was no right click at all in Mac OS. There is. So initially it feels a bit weird, but then it feels just like when you're scrolling on your phone, the up and down bit. But what it does do, it does the same things. You have to reverse. You reverse so sliding up scrolls you down. And it does the same on there. Sliding up scrolls it down, and it's not right for me on a mouse. So I had to install a thing called reverse. What's it called? Reverse scroll reverser. And that little icon appears up at the top bar, letting me know that it's on, and then the mouse scrolls the right way, and the trackpad scrolls the right way, but in the opposite way. If that makes sense? Maybe not. You may have seen then, I do like the command and space bar to launch pretty much anything. You just type it in, or start typing it in, and it kind of fills it out. Now, I mean, I have that on my PC through a third-party app called Launchy, so it's very sort of second nature, and in some ways it's not like me going, oh, this is amazing, I need to, because I've got it on Windows already. But I do like it built into the OS, why not? The keyboard itself, again, is very, very nice. A lot of people said it's a very nice keyboard, and actually to type on, it's a nice keyboard. not much self-success. It does. I love that it's backlit as well. So again, my Dell, one of my big regrets is that it wasn't a backlit keyboard, to the point that I'd even sort of been looking up, can I get it modded to be backlit? Now you can't see, obviously, because it's got the bright lights on it, so I think it kind of automatically doesn't backlight it because it's bright enough. But in the dark, it is great to have a backlit keyboard. So keyboard is kind of gets a thumbs up. It does have a couple of weird things like this quote marks or speech marks are over here on the right, and Shift 2 is an @ symbol. That told me, I still keep going Shift 2 and then, oh crap, which is not good when you're coding. They're quite specific uses for that. But do love the gestures. There's various different key combos you need to kind of get the hang of. That seems to be a big thing, especially when you're coding, I suppose. People like to use shortcuts to do various different things, and I've not really got the hang of them just yet. I have to remember not to Control C and Control V. I have to Command C and Command V. But again, you get used to it, I guess, as you're going on. It's generally very quiet, and right now I can hear my desktop PC really more than I can hear the MacBook Air. It does get a bit louder if you're taxing it. You can hear the fans the fan kind of spin up and crank into overdrive, but it's not particularly, it's not particularly loud, I wouldn't have said. I did miss, actually, when I was talking about the keyboard, I probably should have mentioned the dictation. Initially it didn't seem to work so well, and then it seemed to get better. So if I remember, it's the double tap of the function key for this. So I'm going to talk now and it will dictate it. Then there's been a bit of a pause, and it got that bit totally wrong. So actually, can you see, let me zoom in slightly. So that was not a great example. It didn't work particularly well. But you can see there, I don't know where I got deliverables from, and then Anna with the, Anna I suppose is a name, but yeah. So actually that was a bad example of it. We'll try just once more. No, I said once more. And typically now it's working as it should. Not great. The first time I paused and spoke, it didn't capitalise, but then it did for the and. Why would it do that? So I don't get, for me, only capitalise it if it's a name, or if you said full stop. If you say full stop, it will put a full stop. So I don't quite know why it behaves in that manner, but it does. So it's not overly reliable, the dictation. As I think about it, I've not really used it since the first time I was testing it. I thought, this isn't bad. I've not really used it. Yeah, bit of hit and miss. If we talk about the battery, I suppose. Now, again, one of the big selling points, people say it lasts 12 hours. I've had very different experience. Mind you, I don't know if you can see, let's bring that in closer. I think I've used Google Drive, I think, basically hammers my battery. Or the Google Drive and Sync. See it's syncing loads of, it took literally days to catch up. When you tap on battery, it almost always is saying, I don't know if that's bits in the screen, it's almost always saying the battery backup and sync from Google is using significant energy. So maybe it's this, maybe I just need to get rid of Google, which is annoying because that's what I've got 120 gig of space on there. That is where I keep sort of all my coding projects and stuff. But their syncing software is just terrible. Maybe I'm going to have to move over to Dropbox or something like that. And again, so maybe that's what's affecting my battery, but I don't know, I just don't feel I'll get 12 hours of life, of battery life out of the one go. I mean, I was hammering through it initially. I was maybe getting 5 or 6 hours at best, but again, Google Sync was constantly going, like it is now, which is quite annoying. I'm going to have to get rid of it. So hard for me to judge the battery at this point. I would best guess at the minute, and again, there's no way, Apple haven't built in a way showing you kind of screen on time, which I guess like a Windows laptop perhaps wouldn't, and I'm just using that as an example that I would get on my Android phone. But it's then hard for me to tell actually how much I've used. If I've used the laptop over, or the MacBook Air over, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and it's got down to 30%, which is kind of what I have done at times, I've no idea actually how many hours that is that I've used it for. So it's hard to say what the battery really is like. Most people do say they get 10 to 12, so I think it must just be bleeding Google Drive and Sync hammering mine. As for charging, I like the sort of magnetic click-on charger element. That's quite cool. It is a little, it pops off a little too easy for me sometimes, but it is definitely quite a nice feature, and it charges up very quickly. So I went from 10% to 82%. It was off, it was closed, it was charging in an hour. So that's 72% of charge in an hour. It took 45 minutes to go that last bit up to the top. That's fairly normal. You have that with your phone as well. It'll charge quite quickly through the sort of the main bulk of it, and then it slows down while it just finishes up to the top. But that's pretty good. If you know you can plug in for an hour and you're going to get way over half of the battery back, seems good to me. So how have I got on with Mac OS? Yeah, fine. It wasn't as big a change as I perhaps thought it would be, I suppose. Quite a lot of the software that I used, like Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, Steam, we'll come to games shortly. A lot of it, you go to, if you Google Discord download or Discord install, you go there and it basically automatically flips to be in the Mac OS version. You click download and you install it. It's that simple. Most software seems to have a Mac version. To me, it's quite a weird install process. You kind of download, then you install, then you click it. Then after a short while, it pops up a window saying you've got to drag it from somewhere to the install folder, and then so you do that, and it goes through a bit of a process. Then you tap to open it, and then it seems to go through a further install process, and it kind of says, "Oh, this has been downloaded from the web or whatever. Whatever do you want to open or whatever, or do you want to visit the website it came from? Open," and then it opens. It seems a little odd, but I guess just need to get used to it. Not particularly an issue. The dock at the bottom, so you can change the size of it. If I click and hold and then slide up and down, you can also, so I'm not quite sure why I've got QuickTime Player, for example. So I think, there you go, remove from dock. You can add things to the dock. We go to Launchpad, which is kind of like your app drawer, I suppose, in some ways. And you can sort of, what would I drag and drop? You can drag and drop something in, and there it is. Again, let's get rid of it because I don't actually want it. So that's all easy enough. I think these two bits on the right are kind of recently used or something. I'm not entirely sure. One thing that kind of, can you see this? I think so. One thing that sort of confused me a little bit. So at the top bar, so I'm not full screen here. You can see like Xcode behind, but it says Chrome in the top left corner, and actually all the menu items are for Chrome. So you have to actually click outside to nothing, and then it says Finder, and now I'm kind of using the desktop, and I can go to wherever I want. Finder being a bit like, I guess it's Windows Explorer. And again, if I click on Google Chrome, it comes back to being Chrome, and I can go to my bookmarks, I can check my history, and all that kind of thing. So again, just something took me well, maybe 5 seconds to sort of figure out, but just I wasn't expecting it to be that way, I suppose. I kind of mentioned the voice detection. There is Siri. What was it I tried to do? Set me a reminder for 6 PM to call Mum.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Oh. Oh, it was a timer. Yeah, okay, we don't want, alright, remove that.
Are you sure you want to delete this reminder?
Yeah, remove it.
I deleted it.
Set me a timer for 12 minutes.
I can't set a timer here. How about a reminder instead?
No.
Okay, I won't remind you.
You will not remind me. Go away. Go away.
Goodbye would be more polite.
Oh, it worked though. I was trying to close it to go away. And a bit of a strop on with me though. So yeah, it's a little bit weird. I mean, Siri, I'm quite happy with Google Assistant. I got my Google Homes behind me. I just thought a little bit weird. I thought a timer is a very simple thing, surely. I understand a reminder is basically the same thing, but at the same time, I quite like if I've set a timer for something in the oven, I like that I can just quickly at a glance see how long's left, 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it might be. Whereas with a timer, I know it's only a little bit of math. Oh, so it says it's 10 to, what time is it now? 5 to. But I just prefer that way, really. So gaming wise, I hadn't really thought about gaming, but thankfully, yeah, you can game. Let's drop all these down. I mean, it's nice, all swoosh, swoosh. Well, that sort of thing's quite nice, isn't it? So let's go to. So I've got a few games. Rocket League. I didn't mention in the hardware. The speakers are quite good. So if we turn it right open. Oh. The speakers are pretty good. I suppose I actually bought this game, a couple of quid, mainly because it looked to be fairly low intensity, and it would be a game I could play on the MacBook. Oh, so I did this one already. But I picked this game just because it's in theory it's supposed to make logic solving like you would when you're programming into a game and make it fun. Hey, it's alright, it's quite good fun. But you can see there's no sort of issues, it's nice and smooth, and the MacBook definitely deals with it without any issues. So gaming, it is possible. I have got Rocket League. I suppose I can open your Rocket League up. It's a little bit weird without a control pad though. So there we go, finally we're into the actual game. I do not know what the keys will be. Alright, okay, so it's WA. Oh yeah, I did do this once, but I can't remember what. First touch, where's he gone? Is there a he, or is it just me? Oh, it's just me, is it? It didn't put any bots in. Well, that's going to be a fun game, isn't it? So you can see it's not like amazingly smooth. It's not. You're not going to want to use this instead of your desktop. I'm trying to remember what the keys might have been. But it's not too bad for something that's as thin as it is. Oh, look at that delicate bit of. So let's just come out of that, shall we? So I thought, that's not too bad. Again, if you're away at a hotel for the evening and you can't afford the porn on the hotel TV, then maybe you'll play a bit of Rocket League at 10 frames a second. So that's that's an option. I don't know if you can hear as well the fan now. Maybe you can hear that. The fan sort of did crank itself all the way up. The final thing just to mention, I suppose, is coding. The whole reason that I bought the MacBook Air was to code, and actually I've quite enjoyed it, or I am quite enjoying it. It's powerful enough that so if I click on this, it'll start up the emulator, or it'll build the project. And at this point, I think this is, which app is this? Oh yes, it's my work. The app I'm going to build for work, hopefully, maybe. And you see there, it sort of popped into the bar, whatever that bar's called again, but it's still doing stuff. I'll click on it so you can see it's still doing stuff in the background. This is the emulator for an iPad Pro, and it does take a bit of time, and that's it. It's finally so we can use, where's the home button? Hardware, home, Shift, Command and H. There we go. So again, not the smoothest, but there you go. Oh, it's signed me in. Oh. But I've effectively got an iPad running there. Again, a little slow, but generally, as I was saying, I do quite like the coding. It does feel like they've tried to make it easier, I suppose. And obviously, I'm slightly limited on screen size, but they've done various things that makes it a bit easier to move around the screen. I like that you can kind of click and drag things from your sort of view. I should have opened a better app to look at, really. There's something actually to look at. But I like that you can literally click and drag buttons from the view of the the view to the code and it links things up automatically for you. Stuff like that's quite clever. And all in all, yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. There's a few things I miss from Android. Things like compacting up functions and all that sort of stuff. There's just bits and pieces that it'd be nice if they had in Swift, but all in all, yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. If you wanted a Windows equivalent, I did a bit of searching, and it looked like you could get the same spec. There was a slightly better screen, so it was a 1080p screen from PC Specialist, and it was £704. So, I mean, not too drastically different. There was a Lenovo IdeaPad, which was £600 with pretty much the same spec as well, though. When you remember this MacBook Air is $850. So you do pay a bit more, I think, for the brand, for the name. Maybe for the build quality, it does feel a very well made bit of kit. So again, you make your choice there if it's worthwhile to you or not. So the conclusion, I think you probably can tell, I actually really like it. I do like it. And it doesn't massively surprise me. It's not that I ever thought they were trash or thought the OS was rubbish, or I just never used it. I never really wanted to use it, and honestly, if I wasn't coding, I probably wouldn't have used it. But now I have. It's a nice machine. I'm really considering. I did offer to sell my Dell to somebody after a laptop, and I said, well, I could sell my Dell. I don't really need my Dell anymore, because I think any time that let's say I'm gonna go and visit my mum, I'm gonna grab the MacBook Air. I might grab the Dell. It's got a bit more power. I've got a bit better chance of doing some gaming. I don't think I can get Overwatch on the MacBook Air. I don't think it would work even if it did. Definitely not PUBG. I mean, I don't think PUBG would work on the laptop. And I wouldn't particularly try and do anything particularly competitive on the Dell either as well. So that's the thing. It's not like... So I don't know that I would take the Dell because I could game, because it's not that great for gaming. So there's a good chance I would just grab the MacBook Air because it's nice and light and easy and simple. Stick it in a rucksack and off I go. The Dell only just fits in a rucksack, and even then it is this whole weight to it. You can really feel it. But it's a nice smooth machine. It's when you I'm getting the OS is not that different to Windows. It really isn't. It's not, for me, it's not as complicated as something like Linux, and I've found it relatively easy navigating around. And obviously you can Google any issues you have. You can Google, you got the answer there very quickly. I do like the portability. As I mentioned, I like my sleeve. I'll put a link in the description if anyone's interested in. It's a really nice fit and a nice quality. And the only thing really that I thought I might not, or that people said with the issue was the screen, and I don't really see it as being a problem. There's not been any points where I've kind of looking at thinking, I need to adjust it. It's been fine. So all in all, I'm really pleased with it. I really like it. I'm not. Some people did say just don't give up Android. I'm not giving up Android. I still much prefer Android, but it is as a bit of hardware. I do like the MacBook Air. So there we go. Before I do go, just a point: if you've made it this far, hopefully you have. Check out. You might remember Raju from when I was doing Hemorrhoids.net. He set up his own YouTube channel. Go and check him out on Tectonic, I think it is. I'll put a link down in the video description. Go and have a look at his videos. When I first looked at him, he'd only done one video, but it was a really good video, so please do go check it out. But for now, my name's Andy, and I'll catch you all again soon. You made it all the way to the end. Well done. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe by clicking the little fella over on this side of the screen. You might also want to check out the other videos. Should be just there. Check out my website as well, androidandy.uk, made by me. I'm learning HTML and PHP, so hopefully it's functional. But I'll see you again in the next video.